Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Before I say another damn word, gasoline in California, at least my neck of the homeless shit-coated woods, is under $3 a gallon. Bang, 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 bang. Man, I couldn't tell you the last time gas was under $3 a gallon in California. Now, the rest of the country watching this is like, under $3 a gallon? Shit, we're almost under $2. Yeah, I get it. But we don't have it like that. We're in California, remember? So I went to get gas yesterday. I was like, what the fuck? Where am I? I pinched myself and everything. I checked the sky for pigs. I even got a temperature reading from hell, and it's not frozen. Will this be the norm? I fucking doubt it. Unless Russia and Saudi Arabia keep fighting it out. But it'll probably go back up. But right now, shit's under $3 a gallon. I want to drive around just to burn gas so I can get more, so I can say that I pay less than $3 a gallon for gas. Now, on to more good news. As of maybe 2 hours ago, the Senate has agreed on a deal to relief package, stimulus, whatever you want to call it. They've come to an agreement, bipartisan, and it took me the longest time to learn what bipartisan meant. I'm gonna say it in case anybody out there is like me who didn't know what the fuck it meant. But bipartisan means it's Republicans and Democrats. Both parties agree. Everybody is coming to the table. Everybody's in agreement there. So they struck a deal, and it's $250 billion for payments to individuals and families. And I'll put a link in the description box to the article. $250 billion for payments to individuals and families. You got $350 billion going to small business loans. $500 billion going to loans for distressed businesses, and I think you got another $250 billion for unemployment insurance. Like I said, link in the description box. Check out the article. Now it goes back to the hands of those dipshits known as the Democrat-run Congress. The same ones who shot the shit down and didn't sign off on it on Monday until they added a bunch of stupid ass shit in there that has nothing to do with the situation. But they struck a deal. Now it's up to the Congress. Let's sign this shit and get people paid. Get people's bills paid. Give people some relief. Get rid of some of the fucking stress. When you don't have a job to go to, come on. And speaking of them coming to a deal, relief package, this whole China virus shit, yesterday Trump had a virtual town hall, and it was him and the team of people way smarter than me, talking about his coronavirus or China virus task force. They may call it something different. That's what I'm calling it. So a bunch of smart people who know a bunch of shit about what's going on got in kind of a circle with Trump. They were observing social distancing, and then you had some people, it was on Fox, so you had a Fox analyst, whatever you want to call him, who was leading it, and then you had some people via Skype, satellite or whatever you want to call it, who had questions for the president. And from what I understand, I guess Pence was talking before that, but I picked up where the president started talking. I watched maybe a little over half of it, and he's basically echoing the things that I've heard a lot of people saying, that I've said, that we've dealt with worse shit. The flu kills, 37,000, average 37,000 people a year. Nothing happens. The country doesn't get shut down. But he says, this bullshit comes along and we're going to shut down the greatest country this world has ever seen. He said, that's crazy. We need to get this shit started. We need to get people back to work. Because if we go into a depression or a major recession, he's like, then you're really going to see some deaths. You're going to see people commit suicide. Remember the depression? Well, remember like we were there, but we know about the depression. We learned about it in school. We've read about it. People were jumping out of fucking windows on Wall Street and other places. because their money was gone and vanished. So people were killing themselves. The same thing would happen now. But he says, we need to get back to work. We need to turn the fucking lights back on and get this party started. And I agree. He said there'll be some modifications, social distancing, wash your hands a little more often, but what the fuck? We're America. We're the baddest motherfucker this planet has ever seen, so let's start acting like it once again. Agreed. And then people on his China virus task force were talking about different things, the production of materials, supplies, masks, gowns, hospital beds, ventilators, all the shit that we need to combat this. And speaking of ventilators, masks, and whatnot, your girl, Loco Cortez, your motherfucker, her womb is so polluted. Check out my fucking baby, man. That's from my man Mark in Japan. He was on Facebook Live the other day and he said, hey man, it's been a while. And of course, you don't have to wait long for Loco Cortez to say something stupid. And she did. All kinds of dumb shit came falling out of her mouth. Now, who I want to talk to is her handlers. Hey, which one of you dummies let her get in front of a fucking camera? You're supposed to be shelter in place, quarantine. She's only supposed to have access to crayons, coloring books, and Capri Suns. That's it, not a camera. So this dummy snuck out again and said something stupid. So she's giving Trump a bunch of shit because he won't enact the Defense Production Act. What is the Defense Production Act? Well, they started using it was in 1950 for the Korean War to produce more shit. Basically, these are extenuating circumstances. We need to step up production of whatever items are needed to fight this situation. So in this situation would be, again, the N95 mask by 3M. It filters 95% of particles in the air, so I'm assuming that's why it's called the N95 mask. But it's produced, I believe, in South Dakota. And early March, I think 3M started stepping up production of masks. You have companies like Ford and Tesla who are building ventilators and different items that are needed, like the hospital beds and shit like that. So the reason Trump hasn't enacted the Defense Production Act is because he doesn't need to, dumbass. You don't want to do it just to do it. He doesn't need to. The companies were proactive. They went ahead and started doing it anyway. Why would you need to do that if it's already being done? I'm telling you, her handlers are failing. Where were you guys? Did you fall asleep? How does she get access to a camera? Well, she's saying, oh, Trump needs to do this and Trump needs to do that. You need to shut the fuck up. You don't need to do it because it's already being done. See, that's how Americans roll for the most part. We see some shit coming on the horizon. We take care of it before it gets here. Hello? So I'm glad he doesn't need to use the Defense Production Act. I'm glad. That'd be some bad shit. But we are getting a handle on it. Like I said, the town hall he had is very informative. The guy who was, I guess you call him the host or whatever, but the guy who was leading the town hall, he had some great questions. The people who Skyped in had some great questions. Things we're all wondering. So if I were you, I would check it out. It's about 50 minutes long, I believe, just under an hour. I tried to watch as much as I could between, the family and whatnot, but I found it to be very informative. I found it to be very reassuring that shit's going to happen and we will get back to normal soon. So that's more good news coming out of this corona bullshit. So I'm sure later on today, they said there was no specific time that they're going to announce the relief package being approved by the Senate. We'll see what the fuck Congress does. I don't see why this shit can't be signed and ready to roll by the end of the day. I'm not sure the inner workings of official documents or packages like this, but I don't think it takes long. So Congress, sign that shit. Stop trying to put all the bullshit in there for the people of color and climate change. Shut the fuck up. Where was your climate change now? It's supposed to be too damn hot. Isn't the China virus susceptible to high temperatures? So why is this an issue if climate change is a fucking issue? Which one is it? Are we too hot or not? Obviously you're full of shit. Because if the planet was so fucking warm, why would this China virus be a problem if it's susceptible to warm temperatures? That shit sounds even more stupid when you say it out loud. But they wanted to cram it with all kinds of bullshit that has nothing, to sneak it in under the guise of worry, of a pandemic, of a crisis, whatever you want to call it. Trying to sneak that shit in, trying to Trojan horse that shit. Because you know it's bullshit. Because you know people aren't going to support that on its own. But that's what they do. They Voltron shit. They connect shit to other shit so their shit gets approved. Because on its own, it wouldn't last. On its own, it would get laughed out of the fucking Capitol building or wherever these dumbasses congregate. So why we can't have this shit going by the end of the day is beyond me. Let's see. Will they do one good thing for us? Will they do one thing right? Probably not. But I'm gonna give them one last shot. One last time. This is the part in the movie where everything's riding on this one. You gotta make this pass. We got 3 seconds to go. We're down by 4. We can't kick a field goal. We gotta score. This is it. The fuck you guys gonna do? You gonna sign this shit and get people paid? Or are you gonna try to stuff it with some more of your bullshit and delay the help for the American people who are your boss even longer? I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it is raining like fucking cats and dogs. Real quick, you know where that comes from? I learned this, not recently, maybe a couple years ago, but long ago, like medieval times, people's roofs were made from hay. And for some reason, the cats and dogs would sleep on the roof. So when it rained, the hay got slippery, and if you looked out the window, you see your cats and dogs sliding off the roof, ergo, raining like cats and dogs. You're welcome. Blow people's fucking mind when you go to your first post-China virus lockdown party. You're welcome. Now, let me jump in this damn rat race. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please, subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because every time it rings, a piece of shit liberal cries. Utilize the PayPal link and the Teespring link to get your green gear. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.